for fast, cheap, and reliable Madden 21 Ultimate Team coins. Make sure you guys go check out my sponsor, Easy Mutt. Use code VENM at checkout for 5% off. Yo, what's good guys, Madden Fire here, back from a video, and today I'm bringing you guys another pass defense in Madden 21. Now this one's going to be a little bit of a more unique pass defense, but it is still very effective. It's one that I've been running in Madden 19, and I also ran it a little bit in Madden 20. I'm going to bring it in Madden 21. I still do think it can be a very good pass defense. We're going to be in the 4-6 defensive playbook, but we're actually going to run out of dollar formation. The reason that we're going to do that is because we want to run a 3 down lineman set, but we also want to run this out of a cover 3 cloud stock play. Now, if you go ahead, take a look at 3-3-5 wide, which would be our alternative to dollar. We could also do it out of 3-3-5, but I've already talked about that cover 3 cloud. But yeah, 3-3-5 wide does not have a cover 3 cloud, so we're just going to go ahead and run it out of dollar. But also, before we get into the video, make sure you guys do go ahead, hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 15,000 subscribers. We're getting very close, so if you're new, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. But yeah, so we're in dollar. Go ahead, run this cover 3 cloud show 2. I'm just going to move my face cam very briefly here, and you can see at the bottom we got that cover 3 cloud show 2. It doesn't really matter which side. You can actually leave auto flip on, so I can just turn that on. For video's sake, I'll just leave it off because we're going to run a bunch out of a certain way anyways. As far as your zone drops are, curl flats 20 and flats 5. So we're actually going to run it 2 different ways. We're going to adjust our zone drops a little bit later in the video, but for this first way, 20 on your curl flats. I might actually even go 25 on that. But yeah, so dollar, pretty similar to 3-3-5 and 3-3-5 wide. You can get these safeties at linebacker. And overall, yeah, let's go ahead and get straight into it. Now, personally, I like dollar a little bit better against gun bunch than trips. Trips, that inside zone is a lot better than any run out of gun bunch, so that is mainly the reason that I'm just not the biggest fan of doing that, or running like dollar against said coverage or said formation. I'm going to go ahead and move my face cam back now, and we are good to go. So taking a look at our adjustments, we got some unique zones, and we can actually run this relatively stock. Now in years past, the setup that I would actually run out of this would be just to press, and then I would go ahead and put RB here on a vertical hook, and then I would just go ahead, shade underneath, and shade over the top because cloud flats played relatively good. This would basically be how I would run my defense. I would use our hook curl over here. That 3-rec hook's going to be really good, and you see this can still be good, but people are running a lot of, you know, flat type concepts. You see just how everything is defended relatively well there. But again, in this year's game, this year's meta, that type of a defense just is not very successful. So overall, we're just going to go ahead and have to make it work. So we obviously have to adjust it. We can't use all of these, you know, zones that I would like to use. I would love to have a 3-rec hook in the middle of the field, which we have setups where we will use this. But overall, we're going to be adjusting out of it. Now, our first way to adjust out of it is going to be with the double flat strategy. Obviously, we adjust our zone drops, so we're going to go ahead and be using those. Now, we're going to put our slot cornerback here. He's going to be the one in the curl flat. Now, it's not really too big of an issue having that cloud flat outside on 20 because our curl flat and cloud flat are almost lined up in the exact same spot or position, so it's not too big of an issue that our slot cornerback's the one on the curl flat and our outside guy is actually playing the 5-yard cloud flat. That outside guy can lurk some nice things, bait people a lot of times. People will expect that guy to be in an outside third. If it's a cover 3, that is the great part about cover 3 cloud. Now, obviously, over here on this left-hand side, you're going to go ahead and throw Rodney McLeod here in that hard flat. So we got a little bit of different. On this right side, you see the cloud flats on the outside, and on the left, we have the curl flat. Now, really, this will be better anyways because the routes that you're expecting to go on the flat on the left out of a bunch will be that table route, which you can definitely go ahead and lurk from that linebacker spot, especially if people see that slot corner drop back. They might try and quick snap, throw that table route. It also will defend drag routes, things of that nature a little bit better. Now, obviously, when you're running this setup, it's going to be a 3-man rush, and you're just going to go ahead and have to use this 3-back hook. But again, I mentioned we can do some other stuff around it so that we can actually get our 3-rec hook in play. That would be a 2-man rush setup, though. But yeah, let's run a different play here. Let's go with the Z spot. You will see how it defends against that. Here would be said setup. Julio would have a playmaker in most cases. We don't have that, but that's basically what it would look like. So we're gonna go ahead and snap the ball. We have an inside third, so I can easily quickly work down. It kind of looks like RB has a step there. He almost does, but I'll show you what it looks like if you were to actually throw that ball. And it would be a very easy click on interception. Now again, Avonte Maddox, he's pretty fast. Obviously in Ultimate Team, you get Acrobat. You can make a lot more crazy plays than even in regs. So again, this setup was just to go ahead, throw that R1 slot corner in a curl flat, and then just throw X in a hard flat. Very simple, 2 adjustments, and again, you're obviously putting your user here in a blitz, but relatively simple. I believe they are already stock pressed, so you don't really have to do it. And it is a show 2 play, so maybe someone looks at this, they see cover 2, they think cover 4, but they're not really going to expect a cover 3. Now, to defend against cover 3 beaters, since that strong safety is so far back, it's not really going to be an issue. But if it were, you could always deep half just to play it a little bit safer. But yeah, let's set up that Z spot again. Like I was saying, I'll try and throw it. It's obviously going to be a little bit difficult with this 2 controller type setup. So I will do my best, but you'll kind of throw it. And that was a little bit better of a pass lead or a defense. But even out of this, basically what I could do is I could just manually move him back if that's going to be an issue. Now that corner out's really good, but if I were getting killed by that just off the press, because realistically from the press, he's not going to be able to get there in a super quick amount of time. Obviously, a wide receiver is going to beat him, especially since he's strafing and all that. So I could easily just manually move him out there a little bit. Not really going to affect the run defense at all. You saw in that first one, I think it was defended a little bit better, but certain corner outs are going to be a little bit better. If we go to this corner strike setup, I do think this one's going to be defended a little bit better. And I can even go, let's just run corner strike actually relatively stock here. We'll smart route B and just streak RB. Something like this where you see, again, we got that shorter corner out, this time from the outside. And I do think that the curl flat would play it a lot better this time. You see how he's backed up. So I throw it, and boom, you see it's a click-on pick. Really, it would not be open at all. You would have to have like Gunslinger and some crazy receiver. But even then, again, high zone coverage is going to play it a lot better. Again, Avonte Maddox there, he's like a 78 overall. He's not exactly an ideal cornerback. But yeah, I'll show the setup one more time, and then we will hop into some other ways to run it. Again, just snap the ball, and I accidentally put that linebacker in a curl flat instead of the hard flat, but you see the coverage pretty dang good. Really just the one weak spot that I do see in the defense is going to be having to put that curl flat on your slot cornerback. Obviously, there's no way to do it with your outside corner. You can't put this outside corner on the right Darius Slay in a curl flat, so that's something that you kind of got to deal with. But again, you can move him back. You saw how he played it a little bit better. If I don't want to press, I don't necessarily have to. I can actually move him back, I think, by pressing Y, A, R1, and then that left stick up. That will just manually move him back. So again, you press Y or triangle, A or X to set up your individual adjustments. You go with RB or R1, and then you push that left stick up or the right stick up, and he's actually going to back up on his own. But let's hop into a different set of adjustments here. My face cam was covering that, but if you were following along, you kind of understand what I was saying. But yeah, let's go with RB on a curl flat again. We're going to set up things basically the exact same, something like this, but we're actually going to get our 3-back hook on the field. So instead of putting McLeod on the hard flat, you're just going to throw that X defensive lineman in our hard flat. So it's going to look like this. Again, I'll set up Z spot, and I think with the Z spot also, it's going to be better if Jalen Mills here is on a deep half. I think he is going to play better, and it's not really going to hurt us per se because we do have an inside third, so not really a concern at all. When I do this, I get a 2-man rush. You're not going to get really good pressure, obviously, but it allows me to have help over the middle of the field. And if I have help, maybe I'm even able to user that corner out myself, or lurk down, defend a playmaker, defend a crosser, whatever the case may be. I can easily lurk down on a table route, whatever. But yeah, we'll set up Z spot again here. I'll just go with, again, just a relatively basic setup, something like this. And we'll go ahead and snap the ball. And again, if a play like Z spot is killing you, but there you see the coverage a lot better, and we're able to get the interception. So again, I think the key is moving him back. It's just something I should have said in the beginning of the video, but it is what it is. But yeah, like I was saying, basically moving him back is going to help. And overall, it should lock things up. And again, I can easily lurk whatever I want. I can take a little bit of risks. But again, 2-man pressure, not exactly going to lurk down. I think what I was saying a little bit earlier is that you could actually go to 30-yard curl flat if you want to. That's a little bit deep in my opinion. Certain crossers will actually get underneath that, so I like to stick with 25, make the click on play, get acrobat on that slot corner. That will help, but again, you see backing him up is definitely going to help you a lot, especially with a faster receiver. He's going to get even more open than Russell Gage did. But I'll show that setup one more time, then I'll kind of go back to what I was saying about those zone drops earlier, how we had a different way of setting them up. So again, hard flat X, we're going to go ahead and put A or RB in a curl flat, and then we're just going to blitz our user. So again, it's really simple, 2-3 adjustments, pretty basic. I'm actually going to move my face cam again to show you guys those adjustments, individual adjustments that I was kind of talking about. Basically what those are, you're going to press Y, or again, triangle on your controller. You're going to press A here, or X if you're on PlayStation, and then you press RB, because obviously that's where Avonte Maddox is, or R1, and then I can just push my left stick up, and boom, he's backed off. That way I don't have to go through clicking him on. In case I get quick snap, then I would actually be stuck on Avonte Maddox, and it just caused a lot of chaos. But yeah, that's basically how you do it. Again, we get to use our McLeod here. Just get 2 good safeties. Let's set up corner strike again, something different, and we will just go ahead and snap the ball. So here again, can lurk down on whatever. You see B, he is in a body bag. Even if I didn't get hit, that would be a pick. But with that being said, let's go ahead and hop straight into those secondary adjustments. Alright, again, adjusting the face cam briefly to show off these zone drops. Basically, what I would do in this case is I would actually set both to 10 yards. So I'm going to set my curl flats to 10 and my cloud flats. Because when you're running a stock cover 3 cloud, you have a flat on the right and a curl flat on the left. So obviously you want them to be the same if you're only putting those 2 flats out on the field. You'll see a little bit more of that when I go ahead and hop into it. Alright guys, now obviously this doesn't work in every scenario, but it's something I like to do to kind of catch people off guard. You run it one play maybe, but again, it's not something you want to come out and run every single time. We're going to run a similar setup to what we were doing earlier, what I mentioned with this way I used to run it in 18, 19, even 20, where you put that slot corner on a vert hook, but instead of doing that, we're actually going to man him up on RB, because if I just put him in a vert hook, I run stock Z spot, I'm picking up 30 yards. So you can't do that. Your alternate thing to do would be to just simply man him up. So we're going to man up RB on that R1 player, and then you're just going to go ahead and shade over the top. Now, if you see your opponent go into the flats a certain amount, if he's only putting that running back in the flat, then maybe I'm just go ahead and man this player up. Again, it depends on the way that your opponent is running his gun bunch offense. I can't really describe on the adjustments you would do. It depends on what play he's going to, but again, this would kind of be an idea on something you could do. I could always just use your McLeod here as well. And I could lurk down the table route and then defend the drag. I have the 3-back hook to defend like a crosser from right to left, things of that nature. So again, the cloud flat's not going to defend the flat necessarily perfectly, but you guys kind of get what I mean. So let's actually set up corner strike to kind of lurk down this table route. You will see the coverage. I'll run Z-spot after it, but I'll just kind of show how I would lurk down. If someone were going with like a corner strike setup, I would imagine maybe something like this, take away that C route, and then again, they would have playmaker on X, so they would go ahead, snap the ball, I'd lurk down the table route, and then I would go back up. Now again, McLeod is slow as dirt, but that would be a way to do it. Now if they go with corner strike, you saw the corner out was wide open. That's because obviously we manned up RB. So this is really more of a Z-spot setup. No one really runs that corner strike. I was just doing that to get the table route, but again, I haven't seen anybody run corner strike once on me all year. That's not really a worry. Again, this setup was just R1 on R1, and then basically press and shade over the top. Obviously, I think he's going to play a little bit better. Shade over the top, and again, basic setup. This will work pretty well. That out route's going to be defended relatively well. It won't be perfect, but it's going to be necessarily as good as you can get. And you see, look at this is a 10-yard flat, and you saw he was defending the out route. The out route kind of breaks at around 5 yards, maybe a little bit further. But you see, coverage really good, and overall, yeah. So give you guys a couple of ideas. You can obviously take this a step further, man up certain players like I mentioned, but overall, I think I gave you guys some pretty good ideas. If you enjoyed, go ahead, hit that like button for me. Also, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you're enjoying the content, follow me on Twitter. Link will be down below in the description. And yeah, peace. I'm out of here.